pretty huge day in the world of Murdaugh. First, they brought in Murdaugh on a leash. Yes, an actual chain leash. Led him in on a leash in the court. Some things happened there I'm going to recap. Then they brought in Corey Fleming, his co-conspirator in some of these financial crimes. Had a big, long, several hour long hearing there and a sentencing. I live streamed the entire thing in two parts, one before the lunch break, one after. Thanks to everyone who stopped in. It will be a regular thing. I'm going to start live streaming all these big true crime court cases. That went great. And if you didn't catch it, start tuning in. I'll try to give you guys a heads up. But for everyone who wasn't able to catch it, I'm going to give you a recap and a heads up, the short version, the highlights, just so you know what's happening. Because Corey Fleming got sentenced today. Oh, man. It was drawn out. I almost went to sleep a few times, but boy, leave it to Judge Newman to turn it up, to crank up the drama. And not even a corny fashion, in a just pure, couldn't say it any more genuine and just realer, bringing a fat dose of reality to Corey Fleming here. And Corey Fleming got sentenced. I'll tell you now, he got sentenced to what it comes out to is 20 years. I'm going to explain in the South Carolina State Department of Corrections how that 20 years works. Is he going to have to do that whole 20 years? No. In fact, he can dang near cut it in half. I'll tell you why. But we're going to go over all that. But Judge Newman's words had that whole room silent. As always, we all know Judge Newman. He kills it every time. So I'm going to give you the highlights here. And let me just start with, the shorter appearance here from Alex Murdaugh and what happened there. So Alec Murdaugh, yes, he was brought in, shackles on the wrists, shackles on the ankles, all tied around his waist, and then you got a big dog leash chain in this bailiff's hands. And a lot of people in the chat were saying, what is the leash for? To humiliate him? I mean, to each their own opinion. But I'll tell you what it's basically for. If Murdaugh tries to run, skedaddle, or attack someone, he doesn't like what happened. He wants to get Judge Newman, wants to get his little pale hands on Judge Newman. That leash is for them to quite literally down boy, yank him back. It's just to have a better handle and better control on him. That's actually what it's for. But it was a sight to see him brought in there with that leash. Alex, he's looking pale, as I did when I was in that same prison, as everyone does. Just about, because you don't get to see the sun much. He hasn't gained all his weight back, clearly. He's got his little buzz cut a little grown out. They do require you to have that buzz cut in prison, so he's got that. And, some people say Murdaugh looks like he's not interested. Murdaugh looks like he's too good to be here. That may, to a degree, be true, but I'll tell you what I saw, just from my experience. I've been through this and seen it plenty of times. Murdaugh looks like he's an inmate, just like every other inmate, who gets woken up at 3:30 a.m. in preparation for a 10 a.m., 9 a.m. court appearance. That's how they do it. They wake you up that early. They bring you down. You sit in holding cell. After holding cell, freezing temperatures. It just puts you right to sleep. You're tired. You get your little breakfast tray with your nasty little grits and your little hard, cold biscuit. And you wait and wait and wait and wait and wait with this stress and anxiety of what's going to happen in court today. And it all looks like it just kind of came to a head and tired him out. That's what I saw in Murdaugh's face. But, one could say, he was over there just kind of, doing a lot of that. And just, I feel he's just tired and exhausted, because that's how it goes. You almost can't think straight. Because of how early they get you up and just the process you go through. But some people like to say that that's old classic Murdaugh. He's above all this. He's too good to be there. You're left, you're free to make your own conclusion from all that. So basically, Judge Newman, he heard from both sides here. Let me tell you, the delivery, not just in Murdaugh, but not in Murdaugh's just in Murdaugh's appearance, but Fleming's appearance. We had Creighton Waters. The delivery and the timing and the cadence. That sounds like what a lot of you say to me in the comments about what's about the way I talk. Let me tell you something. Let me bounce that right back to him. The prosecution over here. That guy's delivery and timing of his words and his sentences, it just demands that you listen to them. And he did a really great job of that in comparison to the boring snooze fest of a defense, mainly for Corey Fleming, but kind of also for Murdaugh. The only exciting thing about Murdaugh over there with his defense is just how, kind of scrambled they were when Judge Newman, Judge Play No Games, not here for the tomfoolery Newman, basically told him, listen, I'll give you 3 options of a court date you can get. And you better pick one. And they're like, Judge, can we please talk about this amongst ourselves and we'll email you, what court date we want. And Judge is like, no, you can talk right now and let me know in 20 seconds. Get it together ASAP. And they did. They all huddled up. Oh, well, I got, the big game is on that day. I can't do that day. That's bowling night. I can't make it then. Okay, Judge, we'll do November 27th. So there you go. November 27th. It's been confirmed. That'll be a trial date for Alec Murdaugh on the financial crimes, all this business, what he did with Gloria Satterfield. That's when all that's going down. Okay. So that's been set in stone. Other than that, there's nothing really there exciting for Alec Murdaugh on his appearance other than just getting walked back out of court with that leash. I wish I could find a picture. I can't yet. I'd have to go watch some replays. If you want to find it, go to Court TV or Law and Crime and just watch one of their replays from the beginning. You'll see it. He gets walked in there like a dog. Now, let's get to Mr. Corey Fleming. This was so drawn out. Again, the prosecution did a good job. We heard from the family of Miss Satterfield, Gloria Satterfield. We heard from her son, I believe. And, it takes a lot of courage to get up there. You could tell he had some nerves. This was, a little nervous event for him. But, hey, he powered through it, and he spoke his mind. And good for him. And we heard from the rest of the family members. We heard from another lawyer on their side, just speaking to just the impact that what Corey Satterfield, Corey Fleming, the impact that what Corey Fleming had on this family. And we heard about that. And then we get to hear from Corey Fleming's team. And let me tell you, snooze fest. Okay. His lawyer got up there, that lady, and she just went on and on and on and on. And that's where you really see the contrast in the delivery and the timing and just the presentation of the defense or the argument between her and Creighton Waters. Like, he blew it out of the water. Mr. Waters blew it out of the waters. She made you want to jump in a pile of water and never come back up. Okay. We were all tired of it. It went on and on and on. And even Judge Newman, he finally called it and he said, hey, listen, we're going to lunch. I need a sandwich after listening to you, ma'am. And she's going on and on and on about how Corey Fleming is this nice guy. He puts his jacket down in the water puddles so old ladies can cross over it. And, he helps people with their groceries to their car, and he doesn't kill bugs. He lifts them gently and brings them out the back door into nature so that they can live. And, just all this crap about what a great guy Mr. Fleming is. And so after this recess, they bring up person after person after person on behalf of Corey Fleming. These are all colleagues, associates, and even a former tenant who, if you watch it, you can check this all out on my live stream replay I live streamed all this. Quite clearly was forgetting her lines, just in my opinion, many times. And so she would kind of sniffle and cry to buy some time before she could remember, oh yeah, this is what I say next. It was just all a bunch of hooey. Didn't have anything to do with what he did to this family. Like, he's a great, I understand he stole all these people money, but every time he uses the bathroom, he puts the toilet seat back down. So that's something to consider, Judge Newman. He's a great guy. just a load of crap. And Judge Newman, I mean, do I even have to say it? It finally came time for him to speak, and he was not, he didn't give two craps about that. He immediately, oh yeah, I'm hearing all this good stuff about you, blah, blah, blah. And as soon as he got started talking, you really got to catch this live replay. You can see it in my face. I'm reacting in real time to this. I'm like covering my eyes, because I know as soon as I hear him talking, I'm like, ooh, boy, it's going to be bad for Mr. Fleming. They are asking for 46 months, like some minimum sentence for Corey Fleming to get. He doesn't get it, guys. Spoiler alert. Judge Newman says, I'm not here to be merciful. I'm not here to be lenient. I'm not here to hear about what a great guy you are. I'm here to talk about how you took advantage of vulnerable people. He said, I've handed out sentences to lawyers, probation officers, former police officers. I mean, you name it. So basically, he was saying, I'm not surprised or impressed by anything. This is nothing new to me. You're corrupt, and I'm here to deal out justice. Sounds like good old Judge Newman, right? So he hands it out just about 5 years and 10 years at a time. He's just slinging out 5 years and 10 years left and right. 5 years for this, 5 years for this. Oh, maximum 10 years for this, 10 years then. He's handing out, but some people were like, oh, this is adding up. He's got 50 years. No. Judge Newman basically gave him 5 years, 10 years concurrent. To where, the big sentence there is the 10 years, because they're all running together. They're not stacked on top of each other. You serve this 5, then you serve this 5, then you serve this 10. No, you're serving this 10. And while you're serving this 10, all these little 5s will have been served, right? But then he stops that halfway through, and he's like, now on top of all that I just said, we're going to slap you with another 10. So basically, Corey Fleming was sentenced to 20 years in the state prison for what he did. Now, as someone who's done a good bit of time in the same South Carolina Department of Corrections myself, I'll tell you how the sentencing works and the percentage of time you do off these sentences. If you have a violent crime, you're sentenced for a violent crime, which means you have a violent sentence to serve. You do anywhere from 85% to 90% of that sentence. And if you get in trouble, it might go up to 100. If you have a nonviolent sentence, which is what all of his charges are, Corey Fleming, you do 65% off top. But you can get that cut down by working prison jobs to 55%. So as long as he works and he kind of keeps his hands clean and keeps his nose clean and minds his business, doesn't get any crap, this guy will get out after about 10 or 11 years. Okay, so that's the gist of it. I'm just giving you that recap. Let me know what you think. But let me tell you, the tension, just the anxiety, the on-edgeness when Judge Newman began talking, because you knew the defense put up this whole big thing about what a great guy he is. I mean, they just kept laying it on. And as soon as Judge Newman got the floor, you just realized, and he talked for a good 10, 15 minutes. You realized from minute one, you're screwed, brother. I don't give a crap about anything you just said or what anyone just said. He said, yeah, and this is even harder because it sounds like you are such a good guy. So that's why it pains me to have to deal you this hefty sentence. That's basically what it sounded like. So he knew it. And you see his wife right behind him in the booth or whatever, in that audience. You can see her in the shot because they got the camera on Corey the whole time. And his wife is just a pure permanent frown. I know that was so hard for her, but a lot of emotion in that moment, in those minutes where he was getting sentenced. But that's the gist of it. I'm just giving you that update. So definitely we'll be back live streaming on November 27th for this Murdaugh business. And anything before that I will be, and even unrelated, other true crime cases. I'm really getting into this live streaming stuff. We're going to be covering it. We had a great time. So keep your eyes out for that. But for now, this is just a recap of everything that happened today with Alec Murdaugh and Corey Fleming. Thanks for watching.